So Valve finally addressed the whole cheater situation. Valve just announced that Overwatch will be coming back, and only trusted members will have access to it. That's a pretty interesting statement, but let's dissect what that actually means. Everyone has been celebrating since, yay, Overwatch is back! All our issues have been solved since now, obviously, no more cheaters will be in matchmaking, right? Well, no, it doesn't. If you're new to CS or you just have a goldfish memory, let me give you a history lesson about Overwatch. Overwatch was first announced all the way back in 2013. In order to have access to it, you had to be at least Gold Nova 1 and have at least 150 wins in matchmaking. For years, Overwatch worked just as intended. Closet and legit cheaters would bypass it, but rage hackers would get banned. So you still had to deal with cheaters and even ragers, but at least you knew the ragers would probably be banned. A lot of cheaters realized they could test the limits with Overwatch. They realized they could cheat semi-blatantly and not get banned by Overwatch if they looked like a good player. Even more importantly, if they had expensive skins. Overwatch was never really intended to ban those type of cheaters though. It was intended purely for ragers and maybe griefers. You needed almost everyone to unanimously vote guilty in order for the suspect to get banned. No one knows the exact numbers for sure, but it was probably over 95%. Valve wanted to avoid any potential false convictions, even at the cost of some cheaters walking away free. Valve then introduced VACnet, which would send people that were flagged as sus to Overwatch. So now it wouldn't just rely on player reports to send people to Overwatch, but VACnet would send some as well, which would be almost exclusively spinners. This is why Overwatch around 2018 were almost all spin bots. Cheaters then realized they could force other cheaters into Overwatch by report botting them. A lot of sites sold report botting services, or you could set up your own with your own accounts. You just needed accounts that owned CSGO, and you could report bot someone. Valve realized report botting was going on and made it so they no longer worked. I assume they made it only so accounts in a server could report someone. But regardless, cheaters found a way around it, and report botting still worked. But then, Valve shut it down again. Side note, I would say report botting actually benefited the game. People only report botted blatant cheaters because there was no point in doing it on legit players. So all that would result from report botting is more cheaters getting banned. But yeah, whatever. Bad thing. So for the most part, everything was fine. VACnet would send most ragers to Overwatch. Overwatch would ban nearly all of them, and cheaters had to play somewhat careful in order not to get banned. All good things must come to an end though. Cheaters soon realized they could abuse Overwatch and manipulate it. This all started from a major flaw with Overwatch. That was the fact that Overwatch demos weren't truly anonymous or encrypted. There were several methods you could use in order to find the profile of the suspect you were reviewing. The most well-known method was Wireshark. But instead of doing all of that, a lot of cheats would make it way easier by either literally just revealing Overwatch cases and showing all the players' real names and pictures and profile links, or have a player list where you could easily just look up their Steam 64 ID. So the whole suspect being anonymous thing was gone, and everyone knew exactly who they were reviewing. This led to cases of people adding the person and trying to extort them by asking for a skin or something, and they would vote insufficient evidence, or just bragging that they were about to get banned. But more importantly, this led to what would break Overwatch entirely: Overwatch bots. In 2020, people made programs and bots which would automatically do Overwatch cases. There were several different Overwatch bots, and a lot of them were used for different purposes. One purpose was for whitelisting. So you could buy a whitelist, and as the bots were spamming Overwatch cases, if your profile ended up in the queue, they would all vote insufficient evidence. So this would make it so you wouldn't get banned, even if you should have. Another purpose was blacklisting. So if someone really wanted you banned, they could make their bots always vote guilty if your profile ended up in the queue. Overwatch was now being used as a weapon, and cheaters were playing God and deciding who would and wouldn't get banned. Around October of 2020, Valve finally realized this was going on and fully shut down Overwatch. Mind you, Overwatch was still in the game and you could still do cases, but it no longer banned anyone. In January of 2021, Valve lifted all the bans that were caused by Overwatch bots in the last couple of months. This meant any legit players who might have gotten falsely banned were unbanned, but it also meant any cheaters that were actually cheating got unbanned as well. So for the next 2 years, Overwatch would be in a weird limbo state. It was in the game, you could do cases, it would even give you bonus XP, but literally no one actually got banned. Then, in March of 2023, CS2 was announced and Overwatch was removed. Which brings us today. Will Overwatch be abused again? Will demos be truly encrypted? Will Overwatch be in the game as a placebo effect, but it won't actually ban anyone? Who knows? So far, I haven't seen anyone who actually has access to Overwatch in CS2 yet. Valve must be aware that half of the current player base is cheating. So you can't really give Overwatch to all those bad actors, but at the same time, they need a lot of people doing Overwatch, not just a handful. Not to mention, all your wins from CSGO were removed, and the only people with high elo in Premier are cheaters. And for matchmaking, nearly 80% of people are Silver or Nova. We can't really trust Valve to not make the same mistakes again. VACnet was supposed to replace Overwatch, and we all know how that went. At the very least, Time Is But a Window will have endless content to make and will no longer have to make clickbait videos.